Welcome back to Mario FM. I'm your host, Ranger Mario. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and share with your friends. Welcome back to the Mario FM. I'm your host, Ranger Mario. And today I have a special guest, TJ.
How you doing, good? How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? The world. Glad to be here. Terrence Lawrence is my name. I go by TJ. Been in the real estate game for, as a license, 3 years, but being involved, especially through my wife's business and interactions, about 10 years to get all together. So I'm here for it.
All right. A lot of big things going on in our market.
I agree.
A lot of big changes.
I agree.
There's been a reduction in rates, so there's going to be a while seeing the real estate market.
Right. I think the people who really want to do real estate will, be the ones that benefit from the changes. I think this changes is really going to shake up the market in the industry for those who joining for the wrong reasons. Right. Some people join real estate for various reasons, but one that most popular is the lavish lifestyle. The so-called easy paychecks, where you can just dress and be beautiful and go walk in show houses and stuff like that. But that has changed.
Right.
That's no longer the case.
Right. So one of the recent headlines I see is the buyer's agreements. Home buyers must have a formal agreement with a real estate agent before viewing homes. We see a lot of window shoppers, a lot of people who are time wasters.
I like that word you use, window shoppers.
Yeah,
Good. It's good.
Yeah, you told me that one.
Oh, I did. It's okay. But yeah. That's going to. There's certain people that's in the industry. They're just in the way, right? And so, with this change, it's going to be wide open for professionals, right? Everybody need to turn themselves into professionals in this change of industry. Window shoppers, I dealt with a lot of them in my short time that I've been in real estate, even especially family members. They become special window shoppers, right? Because they know that they can have your undivided attention. I think one person I showed over, I got a list of it. I don't have my notebook here with me, but I showed like 30 houses. And we still didn't pick not one of those 30. We ended up going with a new build. So, but, on average, I think the industry says, about 10 to 15 homes you should see normally. Of course, after you go beyond that point, people are going to forget what they saw.
Right.
They're going to forget some of the things that stood out for them. So sometimes it's just always good to just narrow that thing to down to your top 3 or top 5 homes after you saw 15 or so. But yeah, I'm kind of happy about the change.
Right. So the potential cause, while buyers may have they're responsible for paying their agent's commission. In the past, new rules emphasizes this directly. It's up front.
Right.
Now you can't run away. The sellers ain't gonna bail you out.
Right.
You gotta pay the price.
Correct. Which has always been the case. I just think it just hasn't been exercised a lot. It got to the point where it became a default that sellers were paying the buyers' agents' fees.
Right.
And the buyer, all they had to worry about was making sure they paid the closing costs for the banks. And so you're going to see real deals happen now. You're not going to see those deals where the buyer can't even afford it, but the seller's helping them afford it. Right. So now the buyers are going to have to afford what they're asking for, and for the help that they need. And that help is negotiable based on, I guess, the profession of the agent, because the agent has to negotiate that with their customers or clients. I think it's for the best. People, time is money, right? So now, time is money instead of just people just wasting your time and not paying any money. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think there's you're gonna have buyers who will not now realize that can't just go out and go look at houses. Now you
Right.
have to follow the process.
Correct. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said earlier, window shoppers. You know, we're getting rid of the window shoppers because again, window shoppers waste time. They even waste their own time. Really, they need to focus. Buyers now need to focus on their savings accounts. They need to focus on the reality of, hey, can we afford a $500,000 house? Right?
Yeah.
Can we pay an agent 3% of that? But again, you know, the industry will level out again because I think there's a lot of industries that's coming to the aid of the buyer side because we already know the seller they have an asset, they have a house, so they're going to always be represented. But I think from what I've heard and read, first off, the military, the VA loans are stepping in and they're saying, hey, we want to pay the buyer agent fee. You know, which makes it easier for VA veterans and Army military people to be able to get into a home without worrying.
Yeah.
I've heard of some banks, I can't say specifically which ones, but I heard some banks were willing to pay a percentage of the buyer's agent fee on the deal. You know, roll that all up into a cost. And I just think that change is creating opportunities for everybody that's involved in real estate to be able to come to the aid and be able to level out this playing field again.
Yeah.
Due time. Due time.
There's just still a need for housing. Still a need for housing though, now that you're not focusing on wants or wanting. Now you're focused on needing.
Who you telling? I just had a conversation with my father the other day because I'm a businessman by heart, by nature. I got my MBA, and so I'm all about business. This is why I'm in real estate industry because it's about relationships and building businesses through relationships. But my father told me the difference between the want and needs, that a lot of us it's a blurred line now. Some people feel like they combine their wants and needs together, right? To the point where they feel like that want is a need, but it's not. Like, for instance, I have 2 cars now that I paid off. Now, I want another car. I don't need another car, right? But that want is necessary because that want will add value to what I'm doing in this industry. So if I pull up in this is one of my favorite cars. I want a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. The buyer or the listing agent, whatever, when they see that, they think, oh, okay, I'm dealing with real business here. This gentleman here or this lady here are serious versus me coming up in a 1988 Toyota Corolla. Right? If I come up and pull up in a 1988 Toyota Corolla, the buyer's going to be like, this guy must not be doing a lot of business. I must be his first. They start thinking like that, right? No fault of anybody's. But you have to figure out in your industry the wants and needs, right? First-time home buyers, they want to get out of being homeless because technically renters are homeless, right? Mm-hmm. If you miss your first month rental payment, they give you 5 days before they kick you out.
Yeah.
To come up with the money. So you're really temporary living situation. Like, it could change any time. You can lose your job and then you're homeless. Versus when you have a homeowner, you have a mortgage, you can negotiate that. You can say, hey, I can't pay the whole mortgage this month. I just want to pay the interests. Right? Or I can't pay the interest or the mortgage today. I need to delay it, and they'll delay it for you. They'll help you out because at the end of the day, banks want their money.
Yeah.
They want their money. So they gave you this money to live in something of value. They're going to make sure that you keep it. They want you to keep your value. They want you to continue paying it. So they'll find a way to do it. Versus landlords, they're like, hey man, I'm paying my rent, but if you're not helping me pay my rent, then I'm gonna kick you out because you're not helping me.
Right.
Or with what I need. So that need and want is those are 2 huge words that people have to really understand and contemplate on what they want to do. Yeah, that's big.
Would there be a fear of price fixing, or like?
So what do you mean by that? Help me understand. So, but I don't want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm answering this correct. Price fixing. So are we saying like based on like illegal price fixing?
Nah. So you have a case in a Texas-based software company that's helping landlords raise the rental prices.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Which is going on for like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's around the time the pandemic happened. We were just coming out of the pandemic. It's kind of sad that people take advantage of people's misfortunes.
Right. Yeah.
But that's just, how things are now. Been for a while. I've heard this slogan a long time ago: when there's blood in the street, buy real estate. It's just that, landlords are trying to get people back. They want revenge, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because during that pandemic, when the government was either funding us to be able to stay at a place, or they was telling banks to give us a break, because we was all shut up in. Nobody was working unless you was necessarily needed to work, like security guards or patrol, what they called. It was a difference, essential workers. And so landlords were getting screwed left and right. And they was behind. Nobody was paying their rent because people were boycotting that way. People were boycotting with their wallets instead of boycotting, outside. They was boycotting with their wallets by not paying, because they felt like at a disadvantage if my company not paying me, or I got furloughed, you know what I'm saying, because they only need half of the staff, because
right.
Pandemic was crazy. It was chaotic. And so the losers in that, I think, were landlords and owners and stuff like that, businesses. Those were the big losers.
Yep.
I mean, the employees were losing too, but a lot of them was kind of happy because they was getting free money sitting at the house and just stacking up, you know what I mean? PPP loans, all that stuff. People was just taking advantage of which is sad, but the misfortune of the world. And so, just like they said, money don't grow on trees.
Right.
So they're gonna have to get that money back some way, somehow. You know what I mean? And so I think that is more like lack of a better word again, a revenge, right, from landlords, because I think across the board, landlords were saying, "Hey, we're finna raise your rent immediately." As soon as that first year is up, raising it up $100 to $200, right?
Yeah.
Landlords was not taking any no for an answer or any kind of. They was like, "Hey, the pandemic's over. You can no longer say COVID-19 related, because COVID-19, all I had to do, like most employees, they're like, "Oh, I'm sick, COVID."
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna challenge that, and so a lot of employees knew that and took advantage of that. They can't hide behind that no more. So I think that's why the landlords were like, "Hey, we're coming in real hard on you now." Because they was hiding behind COVID-19. You can do nothing because I could just say, because of COVID-19, this is why I'm in a situation. So, based on your question, man, price fixings and stuff like that, I think that's just a strategy that most entities are doing in order to make their money back. Unfortunately, but that's what's going on. Money does not grow on trees. So,
right.
As long as they don't raise taxes, we're okay.
Yeah, we're good. Although they have raised the tax rate.
Yeah, as long as it ain't a big hike, we're okay.
Right.
A big hike. So.
So we've seen a lot of people still searching. So there's still a desire.
Yeah, most definitely. The American dream is a house, white picket fence, dog, wife, husband, 2 kids. That's been the American dream for as long as I knew it. And again, I only been alive for 40 some odd years. During that time, I've always heard the American dream is house, picket fence, dogs.
About picket fence.
I guess that was a popular thing. Picket fences back then. The white picket fences. Blame it on sitcoms like what was this one I used to My great grandmother used to always watch it. I don't know if it's Leave It to Beaver or it was one of those shows.
Family Matters.
No, this don't. When I say great grandmother, I'm talking about Andy Griffith. I'm talking about shows with MASH. I'm talking about old school shows. Black and white shows. And,
Not Brady Bunch?
Yeah, no, I think
Wait.
Brady Bunch was more color. I think Brady Bunch came in
Yeah, like
around the late
middle.
60s, 70s, you know what I mean? But I would say, like, the Andy Griffith show, Leave It to Beaver, these types of, or Lassie, you know what I mean? You remember Lassie? Lassie's, oh man, you need to go get you a catalog. Lassie was an American show. And people loved Lassie, that collie dog that, used to save Timmy every time he got into some trouble. But those shows would always have a family in a house, white picket fence, dog, family. And so that was the American dream that people sought after for centuries. I mean, for decades. And that want is still inevitable to is still present to today. People are like, hey, sometimes they don't know why. Sometimes they don't even know what they're getting into. First-time homeowners. I didn't know what I was getting into as a first-time homeowner. I didn't know the responsibility that I had to have owning a house. Of course, you had your little chance when you had your apartment or when you was renting something, but you wasn't really responsible for that. You were just responsible for keeping your lights on and paying your cable bill and paying your rent.
Yeah.
Or here, when you got a house, you're responsible for the sink breaking, for a leak here, AC broken. That's all you. That's all you. And you have to, as a homeowner, you have to have, well, people don't know, as a homeowner, you have to have contractors or people that you know
Right.
to come in and be able to help you with your plumbing, your electrical bill, or whatever, waterworks and stuff like that. So, but the need is still there. And that's why it's always good to buy real estate. There's never really a bad time to buy real estate because you're buying value.
Right. Yeah.
So that need is always necessary.
Doesn't matter if there's a trailer home or a huge lot. There's always some type of value.
There you go. There's some type of value. Yeah, that's a good word. There is some type of value, no matter how big or small it may be, but there is some value in it.
You ever live in a trailer home?
Never, but I'm not saying anything against those who do live in trailer homes. My family members have had trailer homes. My great grandmother had a trailer home put on her property. She had a couple. I come from a very large family,
Right.
so we have land. My family. Most of my family has land in Montgomery County, but then we also have some land in East Harris County, which is like Baytown, Crosby, Barrett area. And so my great grandmother, I remember a double wide trailer. So we have a big acre, like 3 to 5 acre land. We have a house here, we have a house there, but then we had a big old spot in the middle. It was just beautiful grass. It was just kept up. So she decided to put her trailer right there in the middle of it. So it was her, then my grandmother, then my great aunt, and then my uncle. So we had like 4 properties on that lot. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, I saw no difference in trailers. I didn't want one, but
Right. Yeah.
I could see the necessity and
That's a great way to go with. If you're selling about $40,000-$60,000,
yeah, especially
you get a good lot.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right because I've read doing some research as a real estate agent. That price is about right that you're quoting. So it's money. It's value.
Yeah.
That is value.
Value.
That is value. So, eventually you'll grow out of that trailer if you have a bunch of kids.
I think that's highly unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah. Old trailers.
It's a great investment.
As a real estate agent? Okay. So there's a lot of good investments without being a real estate
Yeah,
agent.
we know
You
about the other ones.
But as a real estate agent, the best way to really build your wealth is probably get like a duplex. The good thing about duplexes is that a VA, for me, VA supports that as well. The VA would say, okay, well, you're gonna have to live in one of them. You know what I mean? Which is fine. You live on one side, then rent out the next, and so that's a fine way of really getting started in great investments, and then getting to the point where 15 to 20 years later, you already have supplemental income that's coming in off of your rentals. I mean, I know people who have like 35 rentals. I mean, their first initial rental was a duplex, but they done beefed it up to, complexes and commercial buildings and stuff like that, man. And it's like I say, in a matter of 10, 15 years, they are considered wealthy.
Right.
They got value, assets that the bank will lend on. That's the goal. If you're a real estate agent, that's the goal. You start out as an agent in residential, learning the ropes, learning the contracts, because that's the biggest thing, is learning the contracts and learning how to talk to people.
Right. Yeah.
But after that, after you get some money under your belt, you should start looking for properties that's run down that you can buy at a low level, at a low price, and then fix it up and make money off of it. Yeah, either resell or lease it out.
Yeah.
Sure, finest way of becoming wealthy in America is buying real estate, buying land. So yeah, I would say that would be the best investment. What about you? What do you think would be the best investment?
Man, I've been thinking about these. A lot of people call it gentrification, but
yeah, I mean,
there's a difference between revitalizing a community and gentrifying a community.
Correct.
And you have like the big investors who are constantly putting condos and duplexes, which is like, I don't know. It'd be better if you lease those properties.
Yeah.
Like selling it.
Yeah.
When they're sitting on the market for 6 months up to a year.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It is. How do you feel? Cause it's funny you bring this up about gentrification and or just kind of investing in a community. I had so just on my wife's side, she had her great grandfather. His family had some property over there off of 610 in Alameda. Right on the left, you familiar with 610 in Alameda? You got on the right hand side, you got on the right hand side you got the Astrodome and the you know what I mean, 610 Alameda.
Yeah.
And then on the other side you had Astroworld and Waterworld. So before Astroworld and Waterworld was even thought of or created, there was neighborhoods over there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe low end neighborhoods. They probably wasn't paying a pretty penny, but the government bought it out. But some people didn't get the money that was sold for because someone has some property.
Sure it is.
Yeah, and so they just felt like, hey, we're going to revitalize this area by putting an amusement park. Which was actually the greatest thing I ever thought of. I mean, the greatest thing I ever experienced was the Astroworld and Waterworld.
Yeah,
but I didn't know anything. But I didn't know anything was there prior to it. This all happened before I was even born or thought of. But so when you're dealing with gentrification or the reinvesting into a community, I guess the big question is: do you want to keep it there? Do you want to keep the people there? Do you want the community to stay there? Or do you want to change that whole community altogether?
Of course you want to keep them.
Of course, but
you kind of have a heart.
Right.
You have a heart, then.
Yeah, you want to keep them there.
That's what most obvious.
The hardest thing though is making sure they can afford it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we invest to make money. It's a ROI, what they call it, return on investment. So I'm not gonna. And that's the difficult thing about gentrification is that you're going to rebuild it, but you're not going to keep it at the same price. It's impossible to do that because you're losing. Yeah. You're losing money.
Right.
It's not the fact that you hate the people. I wouldn't feel that way. I can't say why other people do what they do, but it would be like, hey, I have to get return on my investments. So I have to price it at this level. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, when I priced it high, the people that was living there, they can't afford that. And so when you are going into, if you are going to do that to a neighborhood or to an area, I think what one should think of, and I think they may have thought of that, is where you're going to put the people that's not going to be able to stay there. You know what I mean? Are you building affordable housing to dislocate? I mean, to relocate the people. You know what I mean? Because I just don't know how I would sleep at night if I know that I built a stadium in an area that used to have houses. I built the whole Barclays Stadium. You know what I mean? But the people that was living there, where are they? You know, they had to get displaced. They had to move them to another area. And these are the things that we don't talk about. These are the things that happen to families. That's not normally talked about. Is that they have to readjust to the area that you put them in. Yeah. That's even like current Hurricane Katrina, even though that was out of our control, Hurricane Katrina. But you had to figure out when you had to go in there and clean that whole place out and rebuild it. And when they rebuilt it, they know they was going to make it to the point where it's going to outprice the people in the Ninth Ward. They was not going to be able to afford that. But you had to know where you was going to put them. You can't just leave them on the street.
Right.
So you had to build some complexes for them. I'm for reinventing or reinvesting into a neighborhood. Gentrification does have a bad connotation to it sometimes.
Right.
But I see why they do it.
I mean, who was going to do it? Not the government.
Yeah, no.
Definitely not the government.
Yeah, no. They're gonna slow roll that.
A misconception people have. They want the government to get involved, to reinvest into use taxpayers' money, but there's so many problems in there.
It's a lot of problems with that, man. It's a lot of problems with that. Like I said, as a taxpayer, you want to see your money go to something that benefits the people as a whole, like schools, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Hospitals. Yeah, we're just we're at a time now with social media that everybody's voices is being heard, and so you're going to see the fallout from stuff like that. That's the unfortunate thing about it. But I get it. I get why they do it.
There's a tax credit for investing in opportunity zones.
Okay, I heard about that. So what are they saying? Like, what do they mean by that? Like, it's a tax credit.
And if you hold property, you get a tax credit for you to reinvest more, invest more.
Okay.
Give you more buying power and all that.
Right. I think it's great for people who can afford to get themselves into something like that. Because you have to. It's just like, me having a house, my buying power has increased because now the value of my house has increased, and if I sell my house, I actually get more money back based on the amount of money I've already paid into it. So if I already have equity in my home, I that's why I guess it's important for first-time home buyers, because now you have something of an asset that has a great resale value sometimes. You know what I mean? Right. If they really see it as that, if they can really understand it as that, because again, I think times have passed us, or times are no longer the same, where people are looking to live in a home for 30 years. No one's doing that anymore.
Now it's 5 years.
Yeah, now it's like 5 to 10 years, and they're looking for another location, another place to be. You have very few people, pockets that want to be somewhere for 30 years. So I don't even think people are really working at one place no more for 30 years, 20 years. So
it's more of a generational thing.
It is. Yeah. It is. We no longer. I think it started with our generation because we found out we no longer have a retirement. Like, retirement for us is not what it's going to be for our parents.
Right.
Like, my parents retired and they got a pension. They got Social Security. And, they got, like, some other things. But they started working during that time in the 70s and the 80s where they was shelling out Ks or whatever they was calling it at the time, but they was shelling out money for you to live off of when you retire. And the retirement age was younger then. I think it was 62. It was 62 then when my father and them was had just kind of 59. I think it was 59 or 52, 62, one of those. But it increased to 67 now. This is 67.
65.
I thought they raised it here recently to 67.
It was probably in the 50s.
Yeah, but I tell you what, we changed that. Our generation, because we found out that we're not going to retire to nothing. Social Security is going to be ate up all by the baby boomers. So we automatically said, well, then why would I work for a company for 20 years if the 401k can leave just like that because the company failed?
Right.
You know what I mean? We started wising up to that, our generation. So I think that's also a reason why things are the way they are now. People just not settling for 30 years or 20 years at a one location. It's just not that. And then you could just have one job. You had a lot more housewives then, you know what I mean, who didn't work.
Right.
All you needed was one income, one good job, and you fine. Yeah. So it makes sense for tax credits. That's just to encourage more purchasing. Right. Makes sense because in this days and time, people are looking to buy the next thing, the next best thing. It ain't a one-time pie for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed.
No way.
Yeah. So it sounds good with the times. Makes sense.
Yeah, I've been working on a project. You might have heard of it.
What's that? I may have. I got my ears to the ground on a lot of things.
Housing.
Okay.
Taking advantage of the housing crisis.
Yeah.
There's a demand. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are looking into it. Like, they're trying to find a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
So landlords are, they're trying to make up for their money.
Of course.
And then you have houses are going up.
Yeah.
300. They look very luxurious. I mean, I like in my homes. They have a starter home.
Right.
It looks like a freaking.
Hey, like MTV cribs.
That was a good show.
I love that show. Oh man, I could talk about that for hours. But anyways, but that's what encouraged people to get houses.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
The lifestyle of the rich and famous. I used to watch episodes of that with my grandmother. Just to see how luxury and lavish they lived. It made me want to do it. It made me want to say, hey, I want to get me a house and I want a golden bedroom. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But I think what you're doing right now, getting into the kind of working with the housing crisis, it's necessary.
Yeah.
It goes back to that what you said, that need and want. It's a need for more affordable housing, especially in San Francisco.
They're gone. They're done.
It's so bad out there in San Francisco. Oh my God.
They cleaned up for some politician to visit.
Yeah. It's they should be a prime example of what you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
The situation you don't want to be in. But they got all outpriced. Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was like, I have 100,000 workers. They got to live somewhere.
Right.
So we're going to build these extravagant houses. We're going to take over some property and some land. And, you just outprice people. San Francisco used to be the place to be. People love to go to San Francisco to have a good time, parties, and stuff like that. I'm a 49ers fan, San Francisco 49ers fan. Even though they don't even play in San Francisco, they should tell you right there. You got a team named after your hometown, but they don't even play in San Francisco, way up north. So that's like Houston having Houston Texans, but they play in San Antonio. It's like what? They're not the Houston Texans, the San Antonio. But yeah,
Dallas Cowboys.
Right? Yeah, Dallas
they play in
Cowboys.
Arlington.
Arlington, like.
Irving,
it's just
and then they trend down in Frisco.
Right.
I like their facility.
The facility is second to none.
Yeah,
Second to none.
I got to play a soccer game at the Star.
Okay, it's
Wow.
it's an experience. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, when I went there during when my father and my brother went there, just to kind of see the big spectacle about it.
Yeah.
It was a high school championship game, and they was playing it there, and so we went to go watch it. Man, it's fascinating with Jerry Jones and his group of lawyers and investors and stuff like that was able to get, because I don't see a stadium even coming close to that, except for came close, the LA Rams stadium. That's second to none too.
Right.
The technology,
That's a whole different.
The tech over there is teching. The tech over there is teching. Yeah. So yeah, I like their stadium as well. It's nice. So, but that, as a real estate agent, that's commercial business. And so I want to get into that one day eventually. I'm going to get into that. Mark my word. I'm going to get into the sports industry. I'm gonna buy me a team, whether it's a G League or a WNBA, because those are more affordable now.
Yeah,
they're affordable.
Yeah.
There's no way am I gonna be able to buy an NFL team or an NBA team. It's billions of dollars now.
No,
it's billions of dollars.
All sports groups.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, I forgot the owner's name that bought the Houston Rockets, but he bought the Houston Rockets at a cheap price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Tillman.
very cheap price. But that's real estate. You know, the value. What's the value of something?
You have a facility out in 610, I-10.
Look, I just was... My dreams was a little bit crushed when I found out what that price tag is now. You know, basketball team. I'm like, how am I going to be a partial owner? But anyways, that's just something to, have a goal for. But that's real estate. Real estate can get you that. Real estate can get you there. Because what's crazy, a lot of them people, when you talk to them, what do? They say, oh, real estate. Like 80% of them say, oh, yeah, I did a little bit of real estate. Real estate here, real estate there.
Yeah.
So that just tells you, hands down, real estate can get you rich and wealthy. And it's a good thing to get into it and learn it and shake hands with good people, because this industry is about who you know and what you know.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. So, mark my words, if you want to get in real estate, connect with some good people.
Definitely.
Yeah. You'll be there in no time.
Yeah, I've seen the Packers, even though they're a non-profit.
Right.
In theory, their worth is $0.
Yeah, right. But let the fans tell you.
What they did down there in Green Bay with the commercial spaces. Mm-hmm. Not just only that, they built an apartment complex. They have a whole amusement park.
Right.
All in there. And then next to communities, like residential communities.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But smart.
Yeah, and the prices for those homes are...
You can only imagine. You can only imagine. That's just like me going to University of Texas. I graduated from University of Texas, San Antonio, UTSA. Okay. Living in a dorm life over there is not that expensive. Or or getting into an apartment next to the school, wasn't that expensive then.
Back in the day.
Yeah, but now, real estate, man. So that's why I said, people say, when is a good time to buy? Now. Don't wait till next year, because next year is going to be higher.
I mean, it's already high right now.
Yeah, but you want to get that value in it. As that year grows, you want to grow value.
You got to snatch that.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So, love it.
Love it.
Gotta love it.
What's your favorite vacation place?
Man, you asked me this question. You're asking the right person, too, because it's hard for me to take vacations.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why I don't take vacations, or I don't look at it as vacation, because I'm always constantly thinking about what I need to do next. It's hard for me to relax and not think of nothing when there's so much to do out there, where there's so much business to make, phone calls to make. I feel like if I'm going to do a vacation, I have to tie it into work. So, like, say, for instance, if the Bahamas, there has a Keller Williams in Bahamas. Right?
Of course.
Right. So the only time I will go to the Bahamas and really have a great time is if there's some business out there, if I can buy a house out there. so I can go look at some houses out there. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be a tourist. I just don't want to be a tourist. Tourists, you go there to spend money. That's all you're doing. You're going there to spend money, entertainment, and then you're back to your regular life.
Right.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like, well, I had fun, now it's over. Back to my humdrum life. I don't want that. I want that to be a part of my life. If I go visit someplace, I want to go visit for business-wise. If I go to Vegas, I want to go to Vegas and we're going to go visit one of our real estate coaches and go be at his house and talk business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, vacation, my favorite spot of vacation will be a place where I do business. So.
Fair.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Bahamas would be the place that I like to go because I have a house out there.
Oh, you do?
No, I will.
Oh, you will.
But that's what I'm saying. That's how I would do it because there are houses available out there in the Bahamas. You just have to have the money and go out there and take a look at it and connect with some real estate agents out there, and there you go. You know what I mean? Have a vacation home.
Right. Yeah.
And every time I go there, I would probably want to do business because I feel like that's what all billionaires and millionaires do. I don't ever really see Warren Buffett on a vacation, but this is what Warren Buffett do. I read his book. So they have a company gathering every year at one of his estates, log cabin estates that he bought. They all come there every year and exchange. They have like some good time, but it's still a business. They're still doing business. They're conducting business over there. Maybe they have a little break in between, but he's not just going there to chill or just relax. He's going there with all his business execs are there, and they're all having dinner and lunch, and they're talking business. If he goes to a whole nother country, they're there for business. They're not there just to spend money and buy trinkets to take back home and say, "Oh, I remember when I was there." That's cool. I'm not knocking anybody who does that. It's just for me, my build, it's hard for me to do that without feeling some type of way. Yeah, I want to go out there and do business. Like India, if I ever wanted to go to India, Dubai, whatever, I have a guy that I used to do business with out there that because I was in the hair and beauty industry, so I had a barbershop, hair salon, so we invest in hair bundles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And his name is Gupta. Yeah, I'm never gonna find him, but anyway, he lives in one of those.
Like
he lives in one of those. Like we got suburbians in the country area. That's kind of, he lives in the suburb. He don't live in the city. He live in the suburbs. So sometimes to get to the suburbs in those areas, you gotta catch a little crop plane or like a little bad bus. You know what I mean? Just to drive out there. You know, which is away from the city. So Gupta, I would go out there to hang out and buy hair, and he would introduce me to his locals, his family. So I'm involved. I'm not a tourist. I'm not on the outside looking in and just spending money. I'm in there doing business.
Right.
So if America ever burn up or whatever, which I doubt it, I can go fly to Dubai. But that's what real estate does. Real estate opens you up to opportunities and businesses in other locations.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about vacation, man. Vacation is I gotta do business. I gotta be in business with it. I can't just sit on my ass for 2 or 3 days doing nothing, bro. I just can't, bro. Yeah. I just feel like I'm losing. Just drunk and just sleeping hours away, man. I know. I just not made that way. What about you, man? What kind of vacations you go to?
Like staycations.
Okay.
Conroe, there's a resort.
Yes, I've been there before. It's real nice out there. Leafly, I think it's like Leaf something.
No, it's a different one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, because I know it has like Clover Leaf or some leaf clove.
There's
like
a bunch.
There's a bunch of them out there.
Margaritaville.
Yeah. There's some good places out there, man.
Biloxi.
I always and that's funny because I went to those, but when I went to there, I bought a profit share. What they call those? Profit share.
Timeshare.
Yeah, timeshare. And that's my vacation. I'm going there, but I'm going there on a timeshare. So I was investing in business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. I just couldn't go there and just relax.
What's the deal with those?
those
Timeshares.
they're going away.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not like
I
they
hear
used to
about
be.
those.
Oh
the
man, they've
lawyers.
been sued so much. It's crazy. But I did have a timeshare. I sold mine. This is back in 2006, 2007. I had a timeshare
Yeah.
because I was in the military, so we was always traveling. So
Oh yeah.
just to get a break, I was go over there and invest in some things.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Well, thanks for your time.
Man, I enjoyed it, man. I could talk real estate. Just let you know this is why I love the industry, because I could talk about it
Right.
like all day. You know, I can't talk about stuff that I don't like. You know, I'll just be short with it. But I have so many experience and stories to tell about real estate, and I do feel like this is where I'm going to have my fortune and make my fortune is in real estate.
Right.
Yeah. It takes time, especially if you want the type of money that I want. It's gonna take time.
Yeah.
Unless I hit the lottery or something. Good deal. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, no problem.